How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be reviewing ZEUS playing Camille in the World's Quarterfinals. And you may be a little bit surprised I uploaded this so quickly. I just finished watching the game and going through the replay, and I was really impressed by the high levels of Camille gameplay ZEUS showed in this game, so I wanted to review it straight away before I get back to watching Worlds. So as we can see from his rune page, very standard Grasp of the Undying, with Shield Bash, Second Wind and Overgrowth, with Cookies and Free Boots. I would prefer Cosmic Insight normally and Solar Q with TP and Flash on this patch. However, because you're not really going to get that many flashes down in a competitive game, Free Boots and Cookies is perfectly okay. Now, this matchup versus Rumble can be quite difficult. You can see he's walking with the wave level 1, doesn't want to get Harpoon from Bush, but 369 plays a little bit too safe, I would say. He could have been afraid of the classic enemy top lane's nightmare where you do Raptors, Red Buff, and Krugs from the jungle, and then ganks top level 3, but you can just ward try and play respectful on that timer. I'd say it's better for him to get push, and you'll see why shortly. So level 1, he's going to skill W. He hasn't leveled anything yet. He is going to skill W, but he's waiting. He doesn't want to use it straight away. He wants to wait to take a bit of damage so that he gets the W damage and heals at the same time, because if you're full HP, you're not really going to get that benefit. So he also gets a Grasp Rock as well. So already off to a great start in this lane. Now he is getting push, and he does want to do a 3-wave crash, but he has to be careful not to push too hard, as 369 is barely touching the wave, except for Harpoons, so he's just last hitting, and here we can see the second he gets level 2, rushes in with E and procs Grasp as well, even goes in for another one, gets the W, so really hard pressuring, even greets that extra auto, pressuring hard with the passive, so really laying on the aggression in game 1 of the quarterfinals. That's what we love to see. But now, wave 3 has arrived, so you want to be pushing this in as fast as you can, and that's exactly what he does, just hard pushes this wave here. We can see he's queuing the wave permanently, and instead of just walking down here to attack jungle, you can see because there's so much action at the moment, he wants to be involved as fast as he can, run through the tower, even WEs him on the way out. So now Ivan has no choice but to give the blue because of the top cap, but ZEUS doesn't finish here. He goes for a mid gank. So I'll play it on 1x speed. I was really impressed by the way he used Flash here. We can see ease in with the W at the same time, knocks the Tristana out of W, even insects him back a bit. It did not lead to a kill, unfortunately, but it was no fault of ZEUS. Our boy played it really well. So I was really impressed by this because even though the E Flash, it is a common combo from experienced Camille players, knocking Tristana out of jump is a lot harder than it looks. It's pretty hard to measure where she is when she's in the air in a real game, especially in a high pressure game like he's playing. Knocks her in the air, out of the air, even knocks her towards the Silas here. But unfortunately, I would say Owner could have played this a little bit better, where he missed his Q flash and also he W'd, where if you don't know, if you're not a Sedge player, when you W, you're locked out of using your E, so he couldn't get the stun off. He could have just committed E now instead of Wing, so Tristan was able to flash away. However, still really good for the mid matchup, chunks into 1 HP, burns his flash in a really difficult counter matchup for mid, and he doesn't even lose that much top, loses about 3 minions probably, and he's able to get back and collect it all. So he's already off to a really good start, already attacked jungle, attacked mid, won his trades in lane, in a counter matchup, so really impressive stuff so far in the start of the lane. But now, Rumble's going to TP back, he's going to have item advantage, so ZEUS does have to play a little bit respectful here. So he's mainly just looking to catch as much farm as he can before he bases and matches the TP as well, because you're not really going to win trades against Rumble at this point. The only reason he was able to do so before is because level 1, you can kind of look for it, and then he got level 2 advantage, level 3 advantage. But now, when Rumble has the item advantage and the same level, he's mainly just farming and getting cooked a little bit under tower. But when he bases and TPs back, he is going to have a few more options. Now, as for ZEUS' TP, he doesn't actually go straight back to top and lane against Rumble. He chooses to TP bot and they go for a lane swap. And the reason for that is they're up in tempo right now. T1 as a team, they're bot and top base first, so they're on the map before the enemy side laners, and they want to be playing for Void Grubs with that tempo. But if they just send Bard top and play for it with Camille versus Rumble, not only is Rumble more useful in this type of fight, but that means Caitlyn's going to be weak-sided. So if they choose to give 3 grubs and choose to try shit on the Caitlyn, it's going to be a lot harder for her to survive than it would be for ZEUS playing a Camille with Phage. And he went for Phage for more survivability, bit of extra tanky stats and movement speed, and you can't really proc Sheen that well against Rumble anyway. So it's a goodbye from him, and we can see even though you're level 6 versus 5 on Camille, and this trade looks okay, the matchup is so brutal. You'll see very shortly, your head is still going to get cooked off, so mainly now he's playing 2 farm until Triforce. So goes to get the fruit now, and he's going to be weak-sided. The enemy team chose to give grubs and swap jungle bottom, and ZEUS is feeling really pressured to try get this wave in, but he is on weak side. He should have played a little bit further back. He should have played at least in range to E here and hurry to this wall, but we can see he disrespected a little bit and went for a trade. If Tian didn't do the jungle special and greed for golems on the way past, he probably would have got the kill here, but lucky for ZEUS, he's very late, and ZEUS also plays it well as well, sidesteps the rumble ulti straight away, and this is what I mean. If he didn't do golems, this wave wouldn't be here, so it would have been a kill, but lucky for ZEUS, he did have some outplay potential there, though. He could have dodged the Iron Q by ulting Rumble. Maybe he could have lived anyway. So manages to neutralize that gank and go straight back to bottom. Had to pick up another sword. Not the best buy in the world. And he's not really going to do much against plated Steel Cap's Rumble until Triforce, so he's mainly going to be playing slow. Now, here's where I'd say was the biggest mistake from ZEUS in the game. We can't really blame ZEUS. I'm going to say Owner called this one because our boy played this game really well. This is not a dive. I called it in the game before I was watching it. This is not a dive. Camille doesn't do damage at this point, neither does Sejuani. Rumble is pretty tanky, and we can see here very shortly why. So ZEUS holds on. He's waiting for 369 to burn his shield and waste his abilities before he commits, but Owner was a little bit impatient and tanked first. We should let Camille tank and then reset tower aggro with ulti, but even if he did that, in my opinion, it might have been a 1-for-1, maybe a 1-for-2. Still not worth going for that dive after all. But here is something that I thought was really impressive, where now the enemy is fully collapsing on ZEUS, and we'll see what he does, where he flashes this wall and he starts recalling here, and they couldn't find him. So we'll play the same thing from Blue Team's vision. We can see now they're moving on, the Avengers trying to kill ZEUS. They know he's around here somewhere, and here he flashed this wall. He hid into this bush, just perfectly using that vision line to avoid them. And now Maiko's going on a journey. He thinks he went here or here trying to find him, but he's basing safely in this bush. A really good abuse of the Fog of War, and just base and come straight back bottom with his sword. Of course, we're not going to be doing much until Triforce. So I'll skip ahead until he's got his Triforce, as nothing happened until then. You don't really want to be taking a big fight until Camille has Triforce, but now she's got it, and Herald is up, so we're going to be looking to fight around that. So they're in good position. We can see he's taking this bush. You want to be hiding in creative positions if you can on Camille. He does give it up to start pushing in the mid wave. I think it's a little bit greedy from him, but doesn't really punish him too hard. You can see he's not really ready for that fight here, but ZEUS is always quite greedy for farm, and it pays off for him a lot of the time. So one thing I was really impressed with from him in this game is he pretty much did no bad E's. It can be quite tempting. Your team's getting engaged on, it looks really scary. You want to fly in on, follow up the CC to E in here on Camille, but he holds E's into the wall. He holds, he's watching, and he jumps off. He chooses to give up the fight, and we even got Herald off it as well, and he just runs straight back to bottom, not wasting any time. Even farming Crab on the way, like we're just touching on, really greedy with min-maxing his farm, but really does really good when he's playing champs like Camille, Yone, and Gwen, and this game's no exception. So we can see it, just hard pushing this wave, looking to get a base off if he can, and picks up Merc Treads and a Ruby. You don't really go Ravenous Hydra in competitive on Camille, as your team fighting will be too weak, so he's just going to go straight into a Styrax. So here, T1's looking for a fight around top side, and something that I was pretty impressed with, we'll see very shortly, T1 takes a bad fight in the enemy jungle and they're trying to get away. If Rumble got this TP off here, most likely it is a kill, maybe even two, and a losing fight for T1. But ZEUS, he has the foresight to hunt for 369 and stop his TP, but the way he did it showed a lot of discipline. Imagine your teammates screaming about Rumble TP in this moment in a high pressure game, and he even doesn't just E into the bush blindly. He puts his sweeper on, finds the Rumble silhouette, and even now, he could be panicked to E in, but he doesn't. He holds his E, he walks into the bush and cancels Rumble's TP with ulti, and then E's away. The reason that's important is I guarantee if he E'd in and stopped Rumble's TP, he would have died 100%. But he cancels it with ulti, E's away, so he's showing a lot of discipline in this game. So bases TP straight back to top and chooses to play for top tower, as enemy team can break bottom, we break top, but we have Herald, so we're favored in the race. So I really like how they also gave the Herald to Faker as well, so that they can play their 1-3-1 style with their strong side laners. They didn't manage to get the tier 2 in the end, but still thought it was quite a creative play. I'm really impressed by the speed in which he did it. He cancelled the Rumble TP, disengaged from dying, and instantly TP top and tried to pressure these after he based, instantly TP top and tried to pressure the towers. So showing really good game planning in this game. And now he's just going to be trying to power farm his second item before he looks for any type of team fight. Camille is got pretty good engage, but you're not really an engaged champ. So until you've got Styrax or a DD or something like that, you mainly just want to play side, and that's exactly what they're doing here. But TES is doing quite a good job of marking T1 and not letting them get a tier 2 for free. So we see the whole team's in enemy jungle. We're trying to get a pick, but Cream buffers the Sejuani jump through this, the Tristana jump, sorry, through the Sejuani ulti, so they're not able to get anything, and they just have to reset and play for the next objective. So now heading back onto the map, one of the big benefits of having a strong 1-3-1 comp with two strong side laners, as the lane assignments don't really matter too much, you can put whoever has TP on the opposite side of the next objective, where normally you'd want to be putting Camille bottom and our control mage or AD carry mid into top lane, as they can be babysat and they can be around Baron and help control the area if they're playing a champ like Orianna, as they're quite vulnerable bottom as well. But because both champions are good in side lane, they're quite self-sufficient, they can create pressure, they can just put whoever has TP on the opposite side of the Baron and whoever doesn't on top. So Faker actually has TP advantage over the Rumble here, which is why 369 opts to go top, not answer bottom, but T1 just respect very, very well. So it's a good sign for Worlds. They're just giving top tower and letting Faker trade for bot tower. It's a good sign for T1 at Worlds as they're making this really hard to execute team com. 1-3-1 with strong side double range bottom. They're making it work very well. So we can see ZEUS pushes top. He bases now. He still would prefer to be opposite side of the next objective as he is stronger of a side laning champion than Silas's, and Silas is a bit more useful grouped up as he can steal some pretty impactful ultis. But now that he's got TP, he's able to actually do that. So hard pushing bottom, getting close to his Sterix now. He would prefer not to take a fight before it, but the enemy team groups up and sieges mid. So TES is doing a pretty good job of trying to force 5v5s, but T1 is responding quite well. So ZEUS ultis in straight away. You can see holds his E again, leads with ulti and E's away. Really impressive stuff by him. A lot of Camilles would have E'd in there and probably died as he had to use flash as well and just barely escaped that CC. And then he just runs straight back to top. So we can see here, looking at it from blue team's point of view, they took this big fight. They're still sieging. They want to finish off the tower. ZEUS is already on his way, put his Nikes on and boosting it straight to top and playing for that tier 2. And as all of us know from solo queue, tier 2 towers give an insane amount of gold, so now he's going to get extremely fed, pretty much more than 2 kills worth of gold from that tower. So bases grabs the Sterix straight back onto the map. They want to be playing for their third dragon now, so he goes top. I'm really impressed by the speed and his decisions in this game as well. Instantly runs top to top after that fight, instantly recalls and runs back top. No wasted time whatsoever. So just pushing in top, trying to create some pressure, and we can see he's going to TP in here to this fight. He can't really make any progress versus Rumble 1v1, and he wants to be at the fight first. So clears this ward, fogs here, and he starts running down. He doesn't want to use his TP, so he's able to go here. And just the threat of ZEUS flanking from this position makes it really hard for TS to walk into this river. You can see fully dark from them with Camille in a flank, so they have to give this full position with the Caitlyn trap line as well. Really hard for them to play. So we can see he's got a good flank. They just dump ultis to burst down the dragon. They use Barda and Sejuani ulti so that they had some space to kill dragon. But because TS saw T1 used 2 ultis, they went straight to Baron to force it. So we'll see here, ZEUS in a really good flank position as well. Constantly looking, doesn't want to be playing front to back on Camille, of course, looking for a flank. And here as well, we can see there's a big fight, Rumble ulti, there's MF ulti, there's a really tempting kill here from Leona, and he's holding onto the wall. He's just waiting, he's not wasting his E. Now, he doesn't know. He probably knows that Leona has flash, so if he E's in here and Leona flashes it, there is a chance he can get hit by CC and dies, as he doesn't have flash at the moment. So really good discipline by him just to chill here and wait and not overextend. Such an underrated skill for a Camille player, but he's done it almost perfectly in this game. So bases run straight back to bottom to create that pressure. You can see because he ran from top before, he was able to hold his TP, so he can play a bit more greedy in bottom. So run straight bottom, he's creating pressure, and he's building into a GA as his third item. You might have noticed a theme by now at Worlds. GA and Zhonya is really good for wasting time in team fights. This is exactly what he's going for in this game. So here he goes for a Q, W, Q2 or E, Q2 away, the fade away, really styling on 369 in this game, and just looking to keep the Rumble pinned under tower, unable to group. So we can see he's just constantly pressuring, and 369 is just sick of it. He doesn't want to get shit on inside anymore. So they just TP into Baron, and they really want to be forcing their strong 5v5 wombo combo comp. So ZEUS, to give him some credit, he didn't just greed for this tier 3, instantly kills the tower and TPs in. And the way they played this team fight was really impressive to me. So here we can see ZEUS is in a really good flank position. It's really hard for them to do anything. They use blue trinkets. Now notice he doesn't hit it straight away. He's leaving it here. This is his Q stack. He doesn't want to hit the ward straight away and lose his ability to stack his Q. So he's waiting really patiently here, and now that they got quite close, they went through this choke, then he stacked his Q. He didn't end up using that one, and you can see even here, a 2-man stun could be tempting to go in. He knows it's way more important for him to hold E and throw in the backline. Even though if he E's here, maybe they could get a kill, right? Maybe he cannot want to get a kill. The threat of Camille holding E and staring at the MF and staring at the Tristana is so scary for them that it's way better for him to hold it and just stay in this position and let his team just play that front-to-back style with Sejuani Caitlyn. So now we can see they're just killing down the Leona, just hitting whoever's in front of them, and as soon as he sees the MF stop an ulti, he goes in, he E's the Tristana, ultis the MF to cancel her ulti. She cancelled it anyway, but one big benefit to his ulti as well, as he ultied the person in the middle, so it knocks these two back here, and insects a Rumble back into his team, so ulting the person in the middle, really good use of the Camille ulti shove mechanic, and it would have cancelled MF ulti as well if she was still going. So here, just beats her down, gets Tristana ultied away, so wasn't able to get his Q2 off, but he's still able to just run back and play that front to back. He knows he's got Styrax available, so he's not that afraid. E-flash onto Tristana, kicks her head off as well, and then they're just able to clean up the fight. So we'll go back, we'll watch it on 1x speed, just to celebrate him a little bit in real time, but we can see it wasn't just him who played well, everyone on T1 played this fight well, especially Faker as well, but the threat of him holding the flank here, and going in at the perfect timing, as Faker is going in as well, and pressuring that MF, making it hard for the backline to play, was really impressive to me. The ability to team fight so well on Camille in a high pressure game consistently is no easy feat, but he's able to execute extremely well in this game, and it's a big reason why they're able to win game 1. Now, in my opinion, that was the game-winning teamfight. It's pretty hard for top esports to come back from that, but they do try. So they're up in tempo a little bit, as T1 stayed to break top inhib and the top tower, so they ran straight to Baron and forced that Bronze Zodia 5v5 yet again. But once again, ZEUS is in a really good teamfight positioning. He goes around the back here, grabs the gate, he's in a nice creative flank position on Camille, stacks his Q up onto the Scrying Bloom here, goes for the W, and Kiri gets a nice 3-man ulti, and again, leads with Camille ulti, doesn't lead with the E. So ultis, kicks Jackie Love in the head, stacks his Q on Rumble before he eases in, and then eases in and kicks the Tristana's head off as well. So really impressive stuff from ZEUS to teamfight so well on Camille consistently. It is no easy feat. And then after that kill, that teamfight, sorry, they get Baron, they run straight down here, they get Dragon Soul, so the game was easy for them to close out. Alright everyone, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to let me know down in the comments which game you'd like to see me review next, but other than that, I'm going to get back to watching T1 in action, and I'll see you all next time.